Hello, English 111. This video is going to talk to you a little bit about your work from last week. Tomorrow, I'm hoping tomorrow or the next day, I will have your papers graded and we'll have another video about that. But for now, let's just talk about what we have for last week. So your discussion boards were pretty good. I read through them and I like what I'm seeing. I feel like you guys got a pretty good grasp on the Bhagavad Gita, the women poets, and the Kokinshu too. That's really cool. It's not easy literature to grapple with, so I'm excited that you all seem to have a pretty good understanding of it. So a few posts for you to look at if you're looking for some good ideas. Jennifer Walker had some really great ideas about elegant confusion. A lot of you had some cool things to say about elegant confusion. Hers is a good one to look at. I do encourage you to look at some, just skim through your classmates' posts though. Also, the idea of elegant confusion is kind of interesting because we're often thinking about literature, trying to find answers to literature, but sometimes there isn't an answer to literature, and this sort of elegant confusion gives us these various ways of perceiving the literature, and we kind of get wrapped up in our own head about them, which is kind of cool. Carrie Hughes, I hope I said your last name right, had some really good ideas about the order of the poems. So thinking about the poems as a whole, as a structure, I feel like most of you got that. But also the way in which they're ordered makes a difference too, right? You can think about them as a whole, but why were they ordered in that very way? I had the vibe that some of you had a better grasp on the Bhagavad Gita than the three women poets. Maybe it's just because you read the Bhagavad Gita last week and you're still kind of thinking about it. It's kind of interesting. I thought that the Bhagavad Gita would be more complicated or a little bit harder or challenging for you guys, and it seems to have been. So if you're having a hard time with the three women poets, of course, ask questions and reread them again. So one thing I read in one of the one-page responses that I liked is that the literature so far has shown a cultural development, and that's spot on. And that's actually true for most literature. Literature is really kind of documenting history and what's going on at the time. It's a display of the important themes, important people, changes, emerging ideas, right? It kind of freezes it in that time. So yes, absolutely, it is a cultural development. And it's interesting to see how these cultures were developing differently. Of course, it's different time periods in different countries, so different things were happening, but it's also interesting to see that cultures kind of develop in similar ways, maybe at different times, but we see some similarities, and especially that's true now with globalization and technology. The ways in which cultures are changing are starting to kind of become more similar across the board. Again, I like that you were able to understand the poems as separate and together. One thing that someone mentioned in a one-page response that I really liked is that these are a document of the human experiences and moving beyond the human experience. A lot of Western, especially American literature, likes to talk just about the human experience, but some of these Eastern texts are asking the reader and the writer to go beyond the human experience and explore what else is beyond our senses as a human being. And that can be kind of weird for Western culture to understand sometimes. Like the three women poets are writing these really erratic poems to these gods, and that seems kind of weird to us, but it's not supposed to be human. It's something more than human, which is a really fascinating thing to think about. So it'll be interesting for you to think about this idea of going beyond, transcending beyond the human experience in these Eastern older texts. And now here we are in these more modern European texts this week, and to see how the focus really is the human experience. That's like the whole point in some of these more recent European texts, is to explore the human experience and kind of forget the things that could exist beyond what we are as people. So good work. You guys are doing great. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of your stuff. I'll get back to you about your papers. I have your papers to grade and another classes. I'm not sure which ones I'm doing first, but you'll get them back obviously before your next one's due. I'm looking forward to reading them. Have a great day.